In this video, we are going to conclude our discussion on value returning functions by talking about random numbers. Random numbers are used everywhere. You see them in video games, you see them in slot machines. They are used for simulations. They are used in all kinds of statistical programs. So learning how to generate a random number is an important thing for a budding programmer. So to generate a random number, the first thing we need to do is import the library named random. From random, we can now call, random is a module which has functions in it. One of the functions is randint. Randint, when given two numeric arguments, will generate a random number between those two arguments. The first argument being the lower end of the random number spectrum, and the second argument being the upper end of the random number spectrum. So in this code, which is again from your major learning resource, which is your book, this program generates a random number between 1 and 10. So every time you run the program, it's going to, let's go ahead and run it. It's going to say the number is 1. And if I run it again, this time the number is 9. I run it again, the number is 3. A fourth time, the number is 3. A fifth time, the number is 5. So as you can see, it generates a random number between 1 and 10. I could change this to a random number between 99 and 2002. And I say run. And now generates a number 916. If I run it again, I get 165. I run it again, I get 912. So now I have given it a much vaster range. The number is 1230. So that way I can generate any random number. I use the random module, and then I use a function that's contained in the random module, which is randint. I give a lower end of the spectrum, and I give a higher end of the spectrum, and I will get a random number generated between those two numbers. Okay. And I can do this in a loop. This program runs only once, but I can also generate random numbers in a loop, and I can do that like this. I can say for count in range 5, so you know from loops what that means, starting from count going up until the value of 5, okay, and print random.randint 1, 100. So you are, again, let's run this. These are the 5 random numbers generated between 1 and 100 from this, because the loop runs the number of times, which is 5. It runs 5 times, and it generates 5 different random numbers each time. Okay, so this is about random numbers, about generating random numbers. There is yet another example in your book, which is dice.py, and max and min are two constants that you have set, 1 and 6, and you are rolling the dice, and you're printing the values that come up in the two sets of dice that you're rolling. And for this, you are generating a random number between 1 and 6. The reason you're doing 1 and 6 is because a dice normally has only up to 6 on one side, and a 1 on one side, and all the other numbers on the other different sides. Now, the random module contains many other functions within it. You have the rand range function, which allows you to specify a range, works very much like the rand int, where you specify the upper and the lower. And then you have a random number seed function. So you can seed a value, and in that case, you will, and when you want an application where you want the same sequence of random numbers to be generated, you will seed a value and then call the random number seed function. And that concludes our discussion on value returning functions. In the next module, we will be talking about file input and output. So till then, enjoy your reading, enjoy your labs, and I'll see you in the next module.